What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And this week on The Great Debaters, one of rap's all-time most discussed, most acclaimed, and best albums, Nas Illmatic. Alright, Amir, it amazes me here on The Great Debaters that we have done more than 100 episodes, and we've never done our top 3 picks on Nas's Illmatic. It's kind of shocking.
It
but
is.
That's why we're here today. But before we get to that, of course, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible and episodes of The Great Debaters as possible. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. If you have already, tell a friend about us so we can keep growing and keep coming to you guys. Now, Amir, Illmatic is lauded, possibly one of the most lauded albums by multiple generations in rap history. For you, what were your early impressions, early exposures to this project?
So, yeah, I'd seen this album. So, back when I was in middle school, when I was really getting introduced to rap, this was one of the first albums I'd picked up because I'd seen it on so many lists and, just read about it through Amazon and just other websites that I would just look to see, what should I listen to in rap next? I listen to these albums. Let's see what the people are listening to these albums. And I've seen this cover pop up dozens, hundreds of times. So I picked it up. And yeah, I was pretty blown away. Granted, back when I was that young, I didn't truly understand everything, and I still probably don't because there's just a lot of content in here. Young Nas was just a beast and still is a beast, actually. But so really, this is one of those few albums that I had switched my favorite song many times. Many times I've had different favorite songs. However, right now, my current favorite song has been my favorite song for over 5 years now. So I think this is going to take actually probably more like 5, 6, 7 years now. But anyways, I'll jump into it right now. That would be New York State of Mind. My current favorite song, and it took a while to get to this, right? It's been a few other ones, and a couple of my other picks were also took the spot, so I'll elaborate on those later. But man, to hear the Genesis, right? I mean, to go right into this song, I thought the Genesis was an awesome intro. I'm a sucker for a good intro to an album. And then this album really had an intro, and then it just straight to tracks after that. No real skits after that. And New York State of Mind, to hear how that starts off, straight up the fucking dungeons of rap. I loved that. I really loved how he said that. I remember there was a time also back, obviously we're still in the internet age, clearly, but I remember when I was able to choose like a description or a bio or something like that. I remember I put straight out the fucking dungeons of rap. I was like in high school or something, so I loved that line. And then Premier, just to start off the album, was just crazy. And back then, I didn't really know who Premier was. Back in middle school, I'd heard some stuff, but I didn't really understand how important he was to hip-hop at the time. But now looking back and to hear like 1994, Nas, Premier, I mean, I'm sure this must have shocked a lot of people hearing this back then. And then to hear this guy just say, I don't know how to start this, but he had it written, but then he'd know like how to rap or go on the mic, and then to hear him do it like that, I mean, hey man, that was just something special. And just everything he's saying, really, I mean, I don't even want to break it down because you can really talk about this song and break it down for a long time. And it's extremely impressive. And then you get the awesome Rakim sample in there from Mahogany, which I think was a genius. And Premier is so great at picking samples, particularly vocal samples. I love when he puts his mix on there, or his flavor on a track. And then we get Nas in the second verse, and then the beat, it has a layer removed, and then it comes back, and that's genius. And then I just think his words are he's really painting pictures in your head. I love where he has the line where he says, hand me a Smith & Wesson, I'll have brothers undressing. Dude, I mean, thinking of Cash Flow, Buddha, and Shelter, like, he's really, the things he says, he really takes it to another level of how he's writing his raps. And that's what one of the first things I noticed about Nas on this album is how he's kind of taking it to that extra level. He's not getting the B in class. He's not even getting the A-, he's getting the A+ in class. He's doing exceptionally well. And Nas really blew me away with this song. It's my first pick.
New York State of Mind is also my first pick from Illmatic, and this has always been my favorite song from Illmatic from the first time I heard this album. This song, New York State of Mind, is brilliant, and I think, as we had talked about when we did our video on which album is better, Illmatic or It Was Written, which you can see the link for right there. The thing about New York State of Mind, to really set the album off and to get you into this feel of what you're about to experience, and the grittiness of the beat, I think sonically DJ Premier's construction of this beat is astonishingly brilliant. And then Nas just takes you through all these different crevices, alleys, different stories that he weaves in that are short, some are longer. He's just saying all this stuff, and it just always blew me away. But the way that the song feels and how Nas is rapping reminds me of when I used to go to New York a lot. The winter in New York, like that sound and that feel, the piano and the atmosphere that Premier creates sonically, and then Nas's forceful lyricism on here, it just made me think of like winter in New York, where it's dark and brooding and potentially dangerous because you don't know what's going on, and there's so much action and activity. And then to hear Nas break down all the different things, it just, to me, is a masterpiece, and might be, and I believe is, my favorite Nas song of all time. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. So that's my first pick. Amir, what's your second pick on Illmatic?
Honestly, it might be my favorite Nas song as well of all time. I'm not sure if I want to make that proclamation, but it's for sure up there. It's easily top 5 for me. I want to also say easily top 3 for me, but I don't want to get too crazy because Nas is a crazy catalog. It's very long, and he keeps adding to it, and he's adding good stuff to it too. It's not just mediocre stuff. He's still doing great.
One of the reasons why, and you're saying that reminds me that I did do a whole video, you should watch it up here, of Nas is obviously highly respected and valued, but I would also argue he's underrated, which he is brilliant, and his songs, his concepts, his execution, he's just a master of the highest caliber, of the highest levels. And that's why I did that video where I just was like, look, this was around, I did the video around the time that Lost Tapes 2 had come out, and I was just saying that he has so many great songs that people talk about, but then there's so much more about him that doesn't really get discussed. It's also brilliant. So please check out that video if you haven't already. But man, Amir, like, he's amazing. But anyway.
Yeah.
Pick number 2 for you, Amir. What you got?
Number 2, I'm going to go with The World Is Yours. This is one of those tracks that used to be one of my favorite songs, or used to be my favorite song in one era of my life, I should say. And Pete Rock was on this. Really, really, really liked it.
He's still on it, Amir.
That's true. I remember seeing the music video for this as well. I am just fascinated by the verses again. I really love the chorus, whose world is this? The world is yours, etc., etc., etc. Then you have, like, Scarface in the video, too. So I thought that was also, like, clever as well. And just really, I think, like I said, the way Nas stylistically approaches these songs, I think in this era of, like, the Nasty Nas era, I just really admire his penmanship. I find that, every rapper, has their own style, and some people, are more my preference or less my preference, but I really enjoy Nas's style here. I think there's so much where I can get lost in the beat and the flow and etc. But then there's something, now we have the privilege of being able to, like, read lyrics on a computer if we wanted to. Like, if we wanted to be like, you know what, let me just read this and see if maybe I missed something. And then to actually read what he's saying in these songs, and The World Is Yours as well, and just to see what the hell he's saying. And I'm just like, wow, this is extremely impressive. And then, like, I remember I really liked the line, as the words pass the margin, to hold them like I'm throbbing, mechanical movement. Like, all this stuff, I'm just like, he doesn't have to say all this, but he's saying it, and it's so good. And The World Is Yours, just another example of Nas's incredible penmanship. But he is so great. It's wild. And I also love the outro to the song. It's just great. So what's your second pick on Illmatic?
So my second pick on Illmatic is also The World Is Yours. It's an amazing song. I really like the fact that Pete Rock used the It's Yours Tila Rock sample on there and scratched it up so much, as I loved so much with New York State of Mind.
Yeah.
I love scratching, so anytime I can hear it and it done, in my opinion, extremely well, as was done on New York State of Mind, and then The World Is Yours, it just adds to me extra dimensions to the song, and I think it ties in, obviously, with the theme, the It's Yours, but I also liked, since much of Illmatic does have a dark, as I mentioned, brooding, kind of ominous feel and sound to a lot of it, I did like the fact that this song is a little bit uplifting in the sense of the title and the kind of the mood of The World Is Yours. You know, it kind of is a little bit more of an optimistic song, relatively speaking, given a lot of what's on Illmatic. So for that reason, it stood out, and I also enjoyed it because it's good. And then I just think that Pete Rock and Nas had a great synergy on this song, and Nas flows pretty effortlessly and fluidly throughout the song, as he does throughout Illmatic and throughout much of his discography. But I just think it's a great combination, and Nas's lines, I mean, we could just recite the whole song, but it's amazing. So anyway, that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on Illmatic?
Third pick, so I'm just gonna name like the songs that used to be my favorites,
AKA the rest of the album.
pretty much. But another track that is not one of my picks, but this actually used to be my first favorite ever from the album, was Halftime. And then also It Ain't Hard to Tell was also my favorite at one point. So,
well, those are interesting too, and I always kind of look at them with asterisks, because Halftime, of course, had been out so long before Illmatic, and then It Ain't Hard to Tell also being a single and also coming before the album. Yes, I look at them as the album because they're on it, of course, but I also, especially with Halftime, it's kind of one of the best songs, but it's also, I had heard it, that I was so familiar with it by the time Illmatic came out that it didn't have the shiny new feel per se of all the rest of Illmatic. So anyway.
well, then on top of that, one thing that I do admire that they did with Halftime as well is that they put it in the middle of the album, halfway through the album. So I thought, okay, well, if you're going to use the song, use it cleverly. Like if they put it at track 9, that would have been a little weird. But yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, Zebrahead soundtrack. But for my actual last pick is Memory Lane, Sitting in the Park. And that song actually also used to be my favorite at one point. But as you can see, it's hard for me to make up my mind. But I don't think it's going to change from New York State of Mind. We'll see. But Memory Lane, Sitting in the Park. DJ Premier, once again, extremely, extremely dope beat here. And usually I'm able to tell a DJ Premier beat from a mile away. This one didn't have the same feel for me. However, when it got to the chorus, I was able to tell it was a Premier beat. But before the chorus, I don't think I would have been able to tell. But man, once again, his vocal samples, incredible. The Biz Markie sample, then we get the Craig G coming out of Queensbridge. I mean, that's just awesome. And then really, it's just such a compliment to Nas as well, just how he's rapping and then have that chorus. I mean, DJ Premier is so great. I mean, really, we have to tip our caps to that guy, because really what he's doing, he is really enhancing the song. Not only is he giving you a beat, but he's taking your chorus for you, making it so much better, making it fit the theme of you and the song. It's just a whole full course meal with DJ Premier. So that's awesome. And then we get Nas, where he, like, I just love how he has, like, his call out to who he's rapping for. 1 for the money, 2 for the money and foreign cars, blah blah whatever. The Alizé and all this stuff, and I rap for listeners, blunt heads, fly ladies, and prisoners, and all this stuff. Like, I love how he starts off the verses. I think it's extremely clever. I love the intellect hanging, the Holy Cross nails and all that stuff. So his lines, like I said, they really shock me, and to even listen to him now and to listen to him back then and kind of like compare how he rapped and raps, it's always interesting to see how people evolve or change or grow up or etc. or change their themes. And I think Memory Lane is just an awesome song. And one thing that's intriguing to me is that I was reading that Premier wanted to have like a more funky beat than this, but Nas heard the sample and wanted to use the sample, so Premier did it. And I'm like, damn, if Premier thought this was like a weaker beat and he could have done better, that's kind of shocking because this is such a dope beat. So, but, you know, I'm happy Nas helped pick the sample Premier on this because it's a banger. That's my last pick.
That's not one of my picks, but Sin in the Park is so amazing, and it's one of the songs that's one of my favorites that doesn't get discussed that much because of Premier's prowess on the beat, and then Nas, of course, is phenomenal on it, and the scratching, and we go on. Yeah. But you just did, so thank you for that. So for me, my third pick is Life's a Bitch. And this song, of course, we got the Gap Band sample, we got L.E.S, we got AZ, we got Nas, we got Nas's dad at the end playing the horn. It's one of those songs about growing up and like becoming a person and dealing with the struggles of life and all this different stuff. It's just super powerful to me, and it's one of those songs where the sonics and the somberness of the music ties into kind of the somberness and the reality of what they're rapping about, which I thought really worked really well. And coming off of New York State of Mind to go into this, you go from dark, edgy, muscular to dark, depressed, sad, wistful, more jazzy, of course. That to me was an interesting turn to take so early in the album. So I was blown away. I thought AZ, of course, did a great job on there, which helped launch his career. And, you know, I just thought that the combination of the two of them over that beat was great. And then the horn at the end, I think, added an excellent twist. And we see, Nas, he and his dad worked together multiple times throughout their career. Of course, Street's Disciple and then God's Son albums as well. But I don't know, man. I just thought that musically this was different. Sonically, it had the Gap Band, so we had some familiarity with it. But it just was a great, familiar, but also unexpected style. And then hearing AZ, I just thought it was brilliant, man. I think the feeling of it and the fatality and the finality of all of it, I just thought was very powerful. So I love that song. Not the most uplifting song, of course, but I do really enjoy it. So anyway, those are my 3 picks. Please hit us in that comment section. Let us know what your 3 picks are on Illmatic for your top selections. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Great debaters, y'all. Masterpiece from Nas, Illmatic.
Be sure to check out the history of gangster rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national
gangbang rappers.
The history of gangster rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The history of gangster rap in stores now.